Okay. Friday, back on Behind the Gloves with another interview. And this is my first interview with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Abner is in the building. First of all, brother, how you been keeping? Obviously, that's the question I've got to ask everyone, checking up on everyone during this quarantine time. How's quarantine been for you?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking. It's good. It's great. Thank God I'm healthy. My family's healthy. No problems whatsoever. I can't say that, the same about, some family members. Unfortunately, they were impacted by the COVID, but thank God they were, they got out of it. At the end of the day, it is a virus. It's, symptoms, flu type, but, they were able to recover. But thank God everybody good.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. How as a fighter who's been out for a very long time now, obviously you've last fought in 2018.
Right.
How have you sort of mentally adapted to it? Because obviously you could say that, oh yeah, I've not fought for so long, so it's just another extra period. But you were sort of on the path back. You took your time out, recovered from your eye injury, and it must have been frustrating that this happened again.
You know what? I'm gonna be truly honest with you. Obviously, there is like the human frustration, like I can't wait. Body like aching, like we're just ready to get back at what you love, But mentally, I'm strong, bro. Like I've been through this. Sad to say, but I've been through this, already twice. Speaking of a detached retina, so I know it's a being patient type of thing. You got to be mentally strong, and that's it. Let God do his work, his healing, and he knows when. So when people tell me that I've been on active for so long, and I'm not gonna be the same, I mean that's only for someone that is not constantly in the gym, training, keeping their body healthy. And I myself, I love my sport. I'm always in the gym. I'm always training, and like I said, this happened to me in 2008. Detached retina, same thing. I was out for about a year, not 2 years. I was out for a year, and I was able to come back. And after that, I became four-time world champion, and I was able to conquer a lot. So now with this little setback, been 2 years, and I can say that I feel the same. It will be the same results, God willing, and I'm just looking forward to really just signing the deal, and can't wait to just know that I'm legitimately already fighting.
There's a lot of there's a lot of fights to be possibly signed that we're going to get into in a minute. But first of all, how is the eye? I know you've obviously taken time off, but obviously you had the surgery and whatnot. How's it looking now? How's it feeling?
My eye's good, bro. Thank you for asking. I could have been back as early as late last year. But I wanted the full year, which was in February, was going to be the full year since the detachment of the retina. So I wanted to take the whole full year. But unfortunately, the whole, pandemic, COVID started, early, I believe, early March, late March, mid-March. And, that, threw us all back, got us everyone on the whole, not just in boxing and any other business, sports, everything, the whole world. So now it's just being patient and waiting to see. Well, already we were racing some top ranked fights coming, being back, and I was happy about that.
What do you think of the little setup? Would you like fighting behind?
I like the setup. Obviously, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I myself, I connect with the people, hearing the crowd and the adrenaline, it's a different feeling. And there is no doubt that you're going to react a different way, when people are there, just as simple if you throw a jab and it lands and, that hypes you up, you know what I'm saying? But
For
now
sure.
it is true. It's going to be more of a tactical, more of a, like, you're going to be able to think more. You're actually going to be able to hear your corner screaming, giving you advice.
That's been the interesting thing, I mean, like, obviously a fighter's got a different perspective because, you want to hear the fans and you have got to adapt like that. But for a spectator type position, we can hear the corner screaming. We can hear the punches landing like swiftly. Right. So, when you're at a fight and you can't actually hear a punch land and everyone goes crazy, but did it land, did it not? Mm-hmm. You can cleanly hear those shots land and it's like, ooh.
And you know what? It only takes, I don't know if yourself. I believe you fought, right? You trained yourself, and
I've trained.
I don't know if you know in sparring session, it only takes one guy to scream, "Oh," and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It triggers it. So if
For
that's
sure.
my coach screaming, "Hey, you landed a great punch. Go at him." I'm gonna do so. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited to to do that and to fight under a stage, with no audience. Just the fact that knowing in the back of my head that there is actual audience watching through TV, that already should just,
Yeah,
hype me up and let me know that I have to give you guys a great fight.
for sure. That's a good way of putting it, because social media is so strong these days. You got a ton of people watching, because a slip up, then you're all over Instagram. But let's talk about the fights. A lot of people from the 130 to 135 division, man. There's just
Right,
so many fights for you out there. I want to start off with actually Jojo Diaz after his win
right.
over Tevin Farmer, which was a very strong, solid performance. Obviously, we know Tevin's a very hard fighter to beat. He's very slick, mentally as well. He's a strong guy. He's overcome his losses early in his career. So for Jojo to show that he could beat him, it showed a real character and skill set in Jojo. Were you impressed with that? And when you watched it, what did you think you could sort of do against him that would, preserve you as the winner?
I wasn't impressed because I know JoJo for many years. We were from LA, both of us. We're raised here. I've known since the amateur. Growing up since the Golden Boy era. And so I had it in him. I knew he could pull it off. Um, um, so again, it just didn't surprise me, but I was surprised on the way, the courage, the heart that he showed, the last rounds, on how he closed out the rounds. That was good on his part. And I'm actually really happy for Jojo Diaz. I'm a big fan. I'm a big supporter of his career, and I wish him nothing but the best. He's a great kid, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that he called me out, again, I didn't take it personal as far as like, oh my God, this kid's talking shit. Like, nah, man, if anything, I took it as a blessing. And also, I was like, bro, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at a man that's been retired, but at the same time, I still carry that name. I'm still that fighter, and know that fighting me will give you that big name. And also not that you're gonna get a great fight out of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with that. And again, I wasn't surprised that he pulled it off. And I would be more interesting in fighting Jojo Diaz because he holds what
Well,
what we like, which is a world title.
for sure. That makes a lot more sense. Obviously, you want the fights that are going to offer the most, right? And which are going to elevate you into a point. You know what it means to be a world champion. I'm sure you want to achieve that again. One person that I spoke to actually in the beginning of lockdown, Michelle spoke to him as well for the channel, was Billy Dibb. Now, he's a good
Right.
friend of yours. I hear you guys have some sort of history that you've known each other for many years now. But he's
Many years.
very interested in fighting you, like very interested. Like when you ask him, he's like, "No, that's the fight I want. I want Abner Mares." I'm like, "Okay."
Right.
So I was like, when I get the chance to speak to you, I'm gonna ask you, does that fight interest you?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. It doesn't. It doesn't. But because I mean, he's a friend, and I wouldn't mind fighting him because again, it'll be a friendly type of fight where we both get something out of it, and but it just doesn't bring much into my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, not putting him down or anything. I'm not that type of guy, but it just doesn't do anything for my career. If I beat Billy the Kid, you know, just good. You know what I'm saying? It would
Yeah,
be like good pat on the shoulder, like, oh, great, you did great. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, Again, I know he's been a world champion, ex-world champion, but it is what it is. His name is not as big in the U.S. than it is maybe over there, but that's the reality. Other
yeah.
than if I were to fight a Ryan Garcia, whether I were to fight a Jojo Diaz, or even a Gary Russell, you know what I'm saying? So any of those three names that I just mentioned, will definitely give you more.
Ryan Garcia, you just mentioned. Now, Ryan Garcia is an interesting one because he's still young, doesn't hold a world title, hasn't really had, in all due respect, a world level fight. Like his last fight, the opponent that he fought, I'll be honest, I was actually impressed at how he dealt with that opponent in a round, because Francesca is a tough cookie. He's not world level or anything, but he's a tough fighter. So that was good, but again, not world level. Doesn't hold a world title. What it does hold is 6 million followers on Instagram, which gets him a lot. You got to give credit where it's due. But that,
Right.
like you said, will bring eyeballs. Everyone in boxing knows who you are. Everyone in boxing knows who he is. First of all, where did this beef or whatever it is start from? Where did the flame start from?
Right. So a lot of people think that I actually called him out, and it's like, oh, Abner's looking for a payday. He wants to fight Ryan, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, like, I wasn't even interested in this fight, to begin with. So how it happened, he had mentioned, okay, so Henry Cejudo's a UFC, MMA fighter, and he's a good friend of mine. We're on the same circle. We know mutual friends, whatever. So Ryan tweeted something about, hey, how would a fight against Henry Cejudo? Well, how do you think I'll play out against a fight against Henry Cejudo? I read it. Someone retweeted that. I read it. I'm like, man, that's kind of disrespectful. I mean, you haven't done shit in your own sport, and yet, you're calling out a legend that's been a two-time world champion in its own, in its own platform, in his own sport, and an ex-Olympian. So that's exactly what I posted. I didn't even write Ryan Garcia. I wrote fighter. I said, it's funny how fighters nowadays call out legends when you haven't done shit in your own sport. That's it. I did not mention no Ryan Garcia. I just said fighters, and boom. Next day, I guess he woke up and someone retweeted that and, tagged him or whatever. And then he replied with waking up and seeing that old ass Abner is talking shit, and that's how it started. It went from there. I don't know what I replied after that. And it just, went on and so forth. And to the point where I'm really good friends with this manager. And his manager texted me. He's like, hey, Abner, what's going on with you and Ryan? I see you guys are going at on social media. I'm like, yeah, your fighter's talking shit. What's up? And he's like, how would you like this fight, Abner? I'm like, you know what? Shit, I wouldn't mind it. What do you think? He's like, if you want it, let's make it happen. All right. So picked up the phone. I shit you not. I called Mr. Al Heyman. I mentioned it to him. He's like, Abner, Mr. Al's always been a big supporter of my career. A lot of my fights that I have fought are mainly chosen by me, not by him. Obviously, he guides you the right way. He tells you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't fight this guy, that fight. But at the end of the day, it's really up to me. So he said, Abner, he's a bigger fighter, different weight class. Why would you want to fight him? We got fighters on this side. Like, hey, Mr. I just, I feel like I need to teach this kid a lesson. I think I can do it. It's like, all right, I hear you, Abner. So let's wait on them to come back with something. So that's how it started. And that's how it went back and forth. I guess they couldn't come up with money. I guess, they're having some type of issues with the zone and him and the company. Again, I don't want to get into details because I really don't know. But they just came back with, there's no money on this side. We can't make the fight happen. So as you know,
they said that there was no money on that side to give you the fight against Ryan. That's what they said. Okay, interesting. Well, you didn't mention that you could get this fight done in like 5 minutes, and that Ryan's up for it. I think that's what I read on one of your posts a few weeks ago. So, and actually we seen today or last night that Ryan Garcia is not obviously fighting on July the 4th, and he's obviously pulled out, and Golden Boy Promotions are pushing their show back to the end of July. Any idea why Ryan would be in such a position when he's not even won a world title, like I said? But do you think it could be that bad of a situation over at Golden Boy Promotions?
I feel that he's being bad advice, bro. That's just being real. I mean, the kid, again, we spoke about this. He hasn't done much in boxing other than, pity pad on the pads, shadow box, love videos, like, bro, like, you're good at that, congratulations, you're good in social media. But in boxing, you still haven't done that. All right, you signed so-called a great contract with Golden Boy, props to you. I heard you got millions for that, and that's good, because they know that this kid has the full package,
Millions.
So I hear.
Yeah, well, the last offer was the reason he pulled out of his fight on July the 4th.
No, I'm talking about his contract.
Oh, his contract. Okay, yeah.
With Golden Boy, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
With Golden Boy just recently, I believe, late last year. So if I was him, I would take the July. I would have taken. No, you can't anymore. I would have taken the July 4th. Obviously not fight me because I guess he was being offered $200 to $300,000.
100,000. Yeah.
Take an easy fight like you always do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's gonna happen. No harm done. You know, it's the same old Ryan fighting. You know, bumps, and you get those $300, and what happens? You move on, and then you potentially get a bigger fight. You know, bigger money, and that's what it is. That's how you built yourself. You know what I'm saying? But he now is looking bad. He is now looking bad because he is looking like a stubborn, you know, immature kid that feels that he owns the world, and that's just being honest. He feels like, oh, just because I got 6 million followers, I should be getting paid this much, which I get in a business side. Okay, I get it. You're bringing in, you know, different crowd, different views to your persona, to the fighter, but at the same time, you really haven't done anything in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't, just because I'm a big, well-known athlete, I could go into any business and be like, hey, yo, I'm everybody knows me, but you gotta hire me because everybody knows me, and I gotta get paid big because I'm well known. No, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? You gotta earn it. You hear me?
Yeah.
So again, I think he should have taken that July 4th fight. He should have fought against, you know, any of those fights. Even a Tanahara would have been a great fight, even though that's no pushover. Hector Tanahara is a great fighter. And move on. But now he's on the ropes, and I don't know what's gonna happen with him. I mean, he's gonna do good. You know, I mean, the kid again has a big following. He's got a name, and at the end of the day, they're gonna work out their differences with Oscar and the zone if there's any problems there also.
If it's one of those things we keep seeing in boxing over and over again throughout the years, and I feel like the so-called Mayweather effect's not just leaving your O untouched, but also, you know, the Mayweather became that first fighter, the money man, right? He was known for the money, and now with the effect of social media being in play, you know, showing that lifestyle of as an athlete, do you think that put together, are we gonna in the next decade face more bullshit in the sport of boxing because people are gonna want more? And they're going to want more money, and they want more recognition. Whereas in the UFC and MMA, because it's one organization, you know, even if you want that, you can't bullshit around. Okay, cool. You don't want to stay with us? Go and fight with someone else. So we don't have that. Yeah. Do you think we're going to go into another decade of straight up bullshit?
Nah, I think we are, like with some fighters, we might hear it, but at the end of the day, you're just going to have to sit down and just realize, you know, that this is all there is, you know, especially after a pandemic. You got to realize that the money's not going to be the same as before. That's just facts, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to make any money and you just want to sit in your ass and type and write and argue about it, there you are sitting, not making money. But if you are about the sport, you love it, and you still want to make some money, all right, let's go, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think the money's gonna come eventually. I mean, there's many ways. Even now, without a crowd, I could see the streaming. I could see the people, you know, tuning in. You know, just the simple fact that they can't be there. Shit, I'm not gonna miss a fight, so I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna pay, and I'm gonna watch. You know, especially if it's a big, you know, major fight. So that's one of the reasons why I always said that pay-per-view was never gonna be gone. You know, pay-per-view is always gonna stay because people will pay to view any freaking fight, you know, that is good, that brings their attention. So you know, that's that. And hopefully we do get through all this. Again, you know, I cannot wait to fight. I have nothing against fighting in a no crowd arena. I have no problem fighting if it's Ryan, if it's Billy, if it's Jojo Diaz, and even if it's a tuna fight, my next fight, I don't care. You know, I'm in the situation that I can't bend the knee. I can't be like, you know, like, no, I want a big fight or else I can't fight. No, bro, like, you've been out for 2 years, you know, Take was there. So yeah. I'm blessed that, you know, all these great fighters are calling me, great names are calling me out, and they want to fight me. But at the end of the day, you know, none of these happens. I'll be more than happy to fight anyone as far as as far as, you know what I'm saying, like that could get me up to that level and work my way up again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, I've been a 4-time world champion. And obviously when I say anyone, there's levels, obviously, you know, I can't just, you know, come back and fight, you know, a 5-6 guy or something like that. But just, I can't wait to just get in the ring and really test myself.
Well, as a fan of the sport, I gotta say I appreciate you obviously just putting yourself forward for any fight and literally ready to fight. It's good. It's refreshing to see someone, especially with you, like you've mentioned, the numerous world titles, and you're still like, whatever, just get me in there, let's fight. So as a fan, I appreciate that. But lastly, I gotta take your analysis because I know you're very good at analyzing fights, and as a boxing fan as well, we gotta dig deep into some heavyweight action before I let you go. Obviously, we got some news that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury could be possibly taking place some point next year.
Right.
No official confirmation, no contract signed, but some sort of verbal agreement is in place apparently. 2-fight deal, 50-50 split, 60-40 split for the second fight. When the news broke, how did you react to it in terms of, is it Joshua or is it Fury? Who's going to become the king of the heavyweight division?
You know what? When I heard about it, I was thrilled. Obviously, as a fan, as a boxing fanatic, I love great fights being put together, and that's one of them. You know, that's really a fight that I'm looking forward to. And if it were to happen, I'm pulling for not pulling. I think that Tyson Fury could take it. You know, he is in his momentum right now.
Mm.
He's got great skills all around. He's a great fighter, great personality, and I think that he can overcome, you know, and go through Anthony Joshua, because I mean, let's be honest, Anthony Joshua lost the first fight against Andy Ruiz. I don't know if, you know, he took him lightly or whatever, but the fact of the matter is that he lost and he got stopped, okay? So the second fight against an untrained, unprepared Andy Ruiz, he fought him, he did great, but he was still getting tagged. You know, Andy Ruiz still had him in some kind of moments in trouble, you know? So how do you see a bigger man than Tyson Fury that could jab, knows how to work inside, that could box, has unreal defense, do against a guy that, again, I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua, but that wasn't able to do that against Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel that Tyson Fury is a full package right now.
Mm.
And Anthony Joshua needs to be super ready for that fight. Again, I'm sorry. I'm thinking that Tyson Fury can be the victorious man in this fight.
Where does Dylan White go in this situation? He was mandated to fight for the WBC title. He's been number one for 3 years, for 3 long years. Imagine being, yeah, it's crazy. But as we know, he may not even get the fight in February, because what they could do is make Fury the franchise champion, and boom, you know, Dylan gets it via email or maybe fight someone lower in the rankings for the belt.
But also, what are these news about supposedly Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder prior to this, you know, big mega fight next?
So the talk is for Fury to fight Wilder in November or December, depending on what the outcome looks like with the coronavirus by the end of this year, and then take on Joshua in like March, April next year. So the February date is completely kind of in the middle of that. It's not going to happen. So again, what I see is the WBC saying, all right, Fury's a franchise champion. This Joshua fight is mega. It's going to make so much money like we've probably never seen before. We're going to go into that fight. It leaves Dylan completely in this situation where it's like, well, I've been here for 3 years and I've not got a shot at the title. If you were in a position like Dylan White as a fighter, how do you react to that situation? How do you deal with it?
I mean, that's a tough one to answer, bro. That's really a tough one, because you're really put in the position where your hands are tied, you know. You can't, like you said, he's been waiting for 3 years already for that opportunity. I don't know, man. I don't even want to put, I don't want to put words in my mouth that I shouldn't, but, I would go a different route, as far as, um, mm, oh man, I don't even want to mention.
You gonna say the P word? You gonna say promoters, promoting wise?
Yeah. I want to get promoters and even organizations involved. You know what I'm saying? But that's on him if he wants to take that route and do it the legal way. But there's many ways, but that's really unfortunate for him and for a lot of fighters actually that are out there and put in that position where just the simple fact that there's other fights that are going to be able to make more money and promoting and fighting, they put the other guy to the side.
It's really sad. It's sad because there's no other sport in the world. Number one, in my opinion, which is harder in all respects of other sports, because every sport is hard at professional level. But you're getting punched in the head. Like, come on, you need some sort of respect. Yeah. And it's like saying, say for a soccer match or a football match, if a team wins a semi-final, they're gonna go to the final. They're not gonna wait 3 years to maybe play the final. So it's weird that we have that in our sport, but it's unfortunate. But anyway, I want to thank you for your time. I've taken up a lot of your time today. Any final
whatsoever.
Any final words to the fans watching?
Yeah, man. Look forward to coming back. Hopefully by early August, mid-August, and cannot wait to come back. Whoever it is. Thank you for your time. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and Abner she'll be back.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.